At the beginning of the story, we see a woman named Emma, whose husband has recently died. To fulfill her husband's last wish, Emma decides to scatter his ashes at Lake Hilda in northern Minnesota, the place where they first met. Before leaving, Emma picks up an old photo from her younger days, a picture of her and her husband taken at Lake Hilda. Then she sets out on her journey. On the way, Emma turns on the radio and hears only one news item about the weather. Warnings that conditions in the Twin Cities are going to worsen. Temperatures are dropping. Up to 8 inches of snow is possible in the Northwest. State agencies are advising drivers to stay off the roads. Even after hearing this, Emma does not cancel her plan and she keeps going. After some time, she comes to a place where the road splits in two. Emma quickly takes out a map to check which road goes to Lake Hilda, but she can't understand it. So she goes toward a nearby cabin to ask for help. When she reaches it and goes forward to get help, she sees bloodstains on the ground. Emma feels afraid, and she asks the man there, named Philip, for help and tells him she needs directions to Lake Hilda. Philip asks why she wants to go there. Emma makes an excuse, saying she wants to go fishing. So Philip tells her Lake Hilda is just behind the hill. Before leaving, Emma asks Philip about the blood on the ground. Philip says it's just deer blood. Hearing that, Emma continues her journey. Meanwhile, the weather gets even worse. When Emma reaches her destination, she is reminded of an old memory of her husband. The first time Emma and Carl went fishing at Lake Hilda. She gets out of the car and walks across the lake on the ice. As she tries to break the ice to place her husband's ashes in the water, a gunshot rings out from the direction of the woods. Emma runs back to her car, where she sees a young girl with her hands bound who looks like she's running from someone. We then see that the person chasing the woman is not some stranger, but Philip. He quickly catches the girl and takes her back to his cabin. Seeing this, Emma quickly takes out her phone, hoping to call for help. But there is no signal. She hurriedly puts her things in the car and tries to leave, but the car gets stuck in the snow at some point. Emma tries everything but can't free the car, so she gets out and walks toward Philip's cabin. Philip is just getting into his car to leave. When Emma sees that Philip is about to drive off, she sneaks up to the cabin window and looks in, where she sees the girl in the basement. Before Emma can get her out, Philip and another car arrive. In that car is Philip's wife, Bonnie. Seeing them, Emma hides behind the cabin. Then the couple go inside cabin where Bonnie asks Philip, while holding him, "No one saw you catching her, right?" Philip replies, "Yes, I found her exactly where you said when she was coming out of the pharmacy. I grabbed her in the street where no one was around." Then Bonnie sees Philip drinking alcohol. She gets angry, picks up the bottle and says, "How many times have I told you, don't drink while we're working? You can drink as much as you want after the job is done." Meanwhile, Emma writes a note on the window for the girl. "I can't leave you here. I promise I'll get help soon." The girl nods, but without erasing the note, Emma leaves and goes back to her car. She stands there thinking for a while. Then she gets an idea, and she starts taking out the things that were kept in her car. After some time, when Bonnie starts feeling unwell, she comes out of the cabin. Just then, she notices a glove lying on the ground. As soon as she picks it up, she sees footprints nearby. She quickly runs toward the window and finds the sentence Emma had written there. Seeing this, Bonnie realizes that someone must have been here. Angry, she rushes back into the cabin and yells at Philip. "What is this?" Philip replies, "Maybe it belongs to that old woman who came here asking for help." Bonnie asks, "Which old woman?" Then Philip tells her the whole story, that a lost woman came looking for Lake Hilda. Hearing this, Bonnie grabs her gun and heads toward the lake, so Philip also follows behind. But before they arrive, Emma has already put her plan into action. When they get close, Bonnie tells Philip, "You go ahead." As Philip starts walking nearer, he suddenly falls into the lake. Seeing this, Bonnie quickly runs to help him. On the other side, Emma quietly reaches the girl, but the girl's hands are tied with chains. Emma starts looking around the cabin to find something to free her hands. At the same time, Emma begins to destroy things inside the cabin so that Philip and Bonnie don't stay alive there for long. But as Emma comes out of the cabin, Bonnie suddenly shoots at Emma from a distance. The bullet hits Emma's shoulder. Still, Emma crawls and hides behind a car for cover. But Bonnie keeps firing. After some time later, Emma sees Bonnie reloading her gun again. So she runs into the forest to save herself, and Bonnie's shots miss her, and Emma manages to escape. After that, when Bonnie comes back into the house, she finds the cabin's interior in disarray. So she quickly goes to the basement to check on the girl, who is still tied up. Then Bonnie starts looking for matches in the cabin because Philip is in bad shape after falling into the lake, and the whole house has become very cold from the water. But even after searching a lot, Bonnie can't find any matches because Emma has destroyed all the necessary things. Then Philip says, "Maybe I should take a hot bath," but Bonnie stops him and says, "You have hypothermia. It can kill you." So Bonnie decides to take Philip to her car because she has blankets there to keep him warm. On the other side, Emma runs to her car, but she can't find anything in the first aid kit to treat her wounds. Feeling sad, she sits near the car and puts ice on her injuries. but she can't sit there for long and decides to go to the lake. She quickly takes her husband's box and starts walking toward the lake where she had set a trap. When Emma reaches there, she sees Philip's gun lying there, so she quickly picks it up. Then she opens the box and remembers when her husband first gave her a ring. The memory brings tears to her eyes. Then she gets up and runs back toward the forest. On the other side, Bonnie and Philip sit in the car to keep warm, but they cannot stay there for long. Then Bonnie gets an idea. She quickly puts on many layers of clothes to stay warm and makes Philip do the same. Bonnie brings the girl up from the basement and sits her in the car. She gives Philip some things and tells him to go to the lake to set up a tent where they will kill the girl so the police cannot find her. Philip takes the things and goes toward the lake. On the other side, Emma returns to the cabin to rescue the girl, but she doesn't find her in the basement, so she presses her wound and searches the cabin for ammunition, but nothing she finds. So she goes outside and checks Philip's car. Here she finds a radio. Emma uses the radio to call for help. Luckily, someone on the other end is willing to help, and Emma gives them the location of Lake Hilda. At that moment, Philip returns and attacks Emma, but Emma hits Philip on the leg with a hammer, which falls down. Then Emma pulls out a gun and plans to shoot him, but Philip begs for his life and says, "It's not my fault. My crazy wife made me do all this because she's sick." Emma asks him where they took the girl. Philip replies, "She went into the forest with the girl to look for you. But please don't kill me, I'm sick. I have hypothermia and need to go to the hospital." Hearing this, Emma feels a bit of pity. Philip takes a ring out of his jacket and gives it to Emma, saying, "I found this in the cabin." Emma quickly puts the ring on her finger and lets him go. Before leaving, Philip gives Emma some bullets for her gun and drives away. But on the way, he meets his wife, who sees him in that condition and angrily shouts, "You left me here alone and tried to run away." On the other side, Emma reloads bullets into the gun and pushes her car backward. There she blows up the car to send a signal so rescuers can find their location. Soon, a car starts coming in that direction, so Emma runs toward it and tells the people that they must save the girl quickly or the crazy woman will kill her. So Emma takes them near the cabin, but they don't see anyone there. The two men get out of the car to check. Suddenly, Bonnie comes from the other side and attacks the two men, knocking them down. Then Bonnie fires at Emma, but Emma quickly picks up a gun and jumps out of the car. She shoots Bonnie in the leg, and Bonnie falls down. Then Emma runs to the other side to grab one of the men's guns. But before she can, Bonnie picks up her gun again and fires at Emma. Emma hides behind the car without getting a gun. There she sees Philip, body inside the car, who badly beaten by Bonnie. Seeing this, Emma quickly runs and hides behind the cabin, but Bonnie fires at the back of the cabin, causing some things to fall on Emma and knock her unconscious. When Emma opens her eyes, she finds herself tied up in the basement with the girl. Then Emma asks the girl her name. The girl, crying, says her name is Leah. Emma also asks her, "Have you seen them before?" Leah says, "Yes, I only saw that woman at the hospital." Then Emma tries to find a way to get out. She asks Leah for her shoes so she can reach the box. Leah quickly gives her shoes to Emma, who then tries to reach the box. After much effort, Emma finally lifts the box and takes out a small piece of iron from it to try to unlock her chains. But the chains are tied very tightly to something. Emma then starts pushing that object hard to free her hands. After a lot of effort, Emma manages to free her hands. Then she looks for a way out of the basement and uses some tools to get outside. But there she sees Bonnie, who is armed with a gun. As Bonnie moves forward, Emma gets scared and goes back into the basement. Then Bonnie angrily blocks the basement exit. The next morning, Bonnie takes both girls and some equipment to the lake where Philip set up earlier. Inside the tent, Emma sees machines. Bonnie orders Emma to lay the girl on the table and put the boxes nearby. But Emma refuses. She says Bonnie can't do this to the girl and offers to give Bonnie money for her treatment if Bonnie lets the girl go. Hearing this, Bonnie shouts angrily at Emma, "Old woman, this has nothing to do with you. Anyway, I'm going to kill you. So it's better that I take that girl's liver out and get to Little Fork so I can get my treatment." At gunpoint, Emma does exactly what Bonnie tells her to do, but before laying Leah on the table, Emma puts a screw into her hand so she can open her hands. Then Bonnie says, "Bind her body with tape." So Emma quickly tapes Leah's whole body to the table, but then Bonnie shoots Emma. Then Bonnie rushes to take tools and tries to remove Leah's liver. But Emma gets up again. She attacks Bonnie and knocks him down. Then she grabs scissors and stabs Bonnie in the stomach, but Bonnie steps away from her and picks up her gun. Emma tries to wrest the gun away in the struggle. The gun suddenly hits a lantern that was there and breaks it, which sets the tent on fire. Then Bonnie tries with all her strength to tackle Emma, but Emma is no less. She uses her strength to knock Bonnie down outside, where a fight breaks out between the two again. However, Bonnie picks up the gun again, but just as she is about to shoot Emma, the gun runs out of bullets inside the tent. Leah is trying with the screw to free her hands because the fire is spreading through the tent. Outside, Bonnie starts hitting Emma with the backside of the gun. Just then, a box falls out which contains her husband's ashes and belongings. We then see that when Bonnie shot Emma inside the tent earlier, the bullet had struck that box, which is why Emma survived. Enraged, Bonnie throws the box toward Emma and starts dragging it toward the lake to make Emma trip into her own trap. On the other side, Leah tries her best to open the tape inside the tent. As soon as she opens it, she jumps outside the tent, which Bonnie and Emma both see. In anger, Bonnie starts attacking Emma, but before she can, Emma throws her down and chains her, pulling her into the lake. Seeing this, Leah runs towards them to save Emma, but by then both of them have already reached the middle of the lake. Leah then sees an old picture of Emma outside the lake, the photo from their first date when they had come here. Seeing this, Leah starts looking for a way around and then rushes toward a path. In the lake, Emma opens the box and lets her husband's ashes flow into the water. A few seconds later, Emma also dies, and that's where the movie ends. So friends, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified. And don't forget to like and share this video. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.